Hi, I'm Rachel with DETV Sports Special, and I'm sitting here with our favorite young freshman basketball players from Ursuline Academy, Taylor Brown and Jezelle Banks. Taylor Brown, your nickname is the Glove. Am I right?
Yeah.
And where did you get that name from?
I got it from when I was in 5th grade, and I played for my one of the first AU teams, PA Sparks. One of the directors of my team, he gave me that nickname, and then my mom started calling me it. So cause I would fly around the court at a young age, and I was just be everywhere, cause I didn't really I knew the principles of defense, but I would just be running around just everywhere. So they called me the Glove, because I would get a lot of steals doing that.
Okay, so you just lock people down. That's where you got the name from?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And I just lived up to it.
Now you know where that name came from originally?
Yeah, Gary Payton.
That's right. Do you think you could live up to that?
Yeah.
Awesome. And Gigi, is that just the nickname from Jezelle?
No, not at all.
Where did that come from?
I had a coach name. His name was Coach Lamar, and I used to practice with him at the Y and stuff. And he always thought my name started with a G, so I had to correct him multiple times. But it just would never click in his head. So one day, my friend, his name was Prince. He was telling him "Yo, Coach Lamar, her name not Gigi." So I would go to tryouts with Philly Triple Threat, and then I'll probably say we was introducing ourselves, and my coach just said out loud, "Her name is Gigi," because I said Jezelle, and he was "Her name is Gigi." I'm all right, and then that's when I start getting write-ups and all that, and they start putting Gigi on there, so I'm all right, I'm just gonna have to live up to it now. But I it, it's not a problem.
That's awesome. So, school, I heard you guys have great GPAs. You guys are good students first, and student athletes, because you become a student first. How what do you do? How do you manage your time and practice and traveling with AAU? How do you manage your time, and where did you learn that?
Time management is definitely hard, and I had to learn how to manage my time more this year, because we actually I'm in high classes, so it's a lot of work, and I actually really have to study. Last year I would study, but this year I had to really study and make sure I do go on the test. So, but during for our school we have free periods, so I really have to take advantage of those free periods and get off my phone and stuff, because I'll be scrolling on TikTok and stuff. So I just put my phone somewhere else and just lock in, and then yeah.
That's discipline. And what about you, Gigi?
For me, definitely, I'd probably say I had to start taking advantage of my time when probably 7th grade hit, noticing that I would start traveling, leaving school early sometimes, and sometimes I would probably leave school on Thursdays to go up to play on my AAU team. But it's definitely a struggle. But I feel as though as much as I grow, I'm gonna definitely have to put that as one of my priorities. It definitely is now.
That's awesome. And what inspires you to pursue basketball, and who has been your biggest influence?
What inspired me to start playing was my older brother, because I grew up watching him play, because he played on all these AAU teams in Philly and stuff with all his friends. So I always watched him, and my mom would coach his team and stuff, so I would be on the bench kind of with them. And then so I just started playing, and I started playing with boys at this place called Longcrest in Philly. And then ever since then I just fell in love with the sport, and I started off by playing soccer, but then I just gravitated towards basketball more. And what influences me to keep going every day is probably just all the goals I have, and wanting to reach those goals of going high D1 and just being the best version of me.
Very good.
What inspires me to play basketball is just probably everybody around it, how much fun it is, and I'm a very competitive person. So me, as soon as I was younger, I always been competitive. I always wanted to beat the boys. I always wanted to play against them. So just see how much competitive and fun it was. It was just so much fun that I just wanted to take it far, and noticing that when I was younger, the boys would always look at me I'm not passing the ball to her. So now that I can stand up and just play is just awesome, and seeing how far it goes. At first as a young boy, I didn't really know how much it took me. I just thought you play middle school, you play in these little summer leagues, but seeing how much come with basketball is definitely amazing. It's cool.
That's awesome. And that's from playing with boys.
Right,
lot,
yeah,
right?
that's how we
But
started
you
off.
ladies are so reserved and shy. You don't play like you're shy. When does that come out? Is that when jump ball, or
I'll probably say for me it's probably locker room. Soon as I'm like that with every opponent, but it could be certain teams that I'll take it personal with. So me, soon as I'm listening to my music, soon as that one song come on, and probably when like you said, the jump ball, soon as I'm on the fast break, I think that's when everything kicks in.
And you said that you had a brother that played.
Mm-hmm.
Was that your competitive edge? Trying to live up to your brother's hype.
Kind of, but I think I'm gonna be better than my brother than how he was, because he kind of stopped playing after high school. So I think I'm gonna be better than him. But he definitely was a big factor of like my career and stuff, because I grew up watching him, like I said, and then also like he'll be in the gym with me and stuff, pushing me. And then my dad also is a big factor, because he's the one that trains me every day. And then my mom, she's also like a really big factor, because she drives me around every day, like to school, because I live like 40 minutes away.
Wow.
So she drives me to school. Then after practice, she has to take me right to my workout. So like it's a lot. Like
It's a lot of
everybody plays a
responsibility.
factor.
Yeah. It's a huge support you have around you, and that's important. And then what about you? Do you have siblings?
Yeah, I have siblings. So my grandfather, he played basketball. He was mostly played up New York, but he wasn't.
Wait. Is he from New York?
No, my
Don't
family.
make it say it like that.
No, it's nothing wrong with New York.
Okay.
He from Chester. My mom's side is from Chester, and then my dad's side is strictly from Wilmington. So it's it's just. But I probably say, I think my dad, he really like played. Everybody played a factor, especially my mom. Like she was the one. Like she's more focused on cause she know mental health is definitely like that's something very important. So she know that she always make sure I'm straight. And like nothing really wrong with me. So like I'm always happy and stuff. But my dad's probably the one that's more physical. Like he makes sure that like I'm working out, I stay on top of my workouts. Every day he'll text me like he'll just make sure that I'm staying on top of whatever I gotta do. But I feel as though for my family, I feel like I definitely am setting the tone and taking it far.
So there's games. Not every game is going to come easy to you, ladies, because you don't just play Delaware teams. You play against Delaware teams.
Exactly.
You compete against teams that's in Philadelphia. You just competed against a team in Lehigh. My niece plays on that team, and you played against 4 top Power 5 Division I players.
Right.
What was that like?
It was definitely like a good experience, and like we just went into that game like we got nothing to lose. We might as well go out here and play. But it was a good game to learn from, because those girls, like, they were really good, and like they're like high level players, and like playing against them, we get to see like where we're at and how, and if like we could play on the next level, because like they're like high level seniors, and like they're going to major schools. So playing against them was like definitely a good test for us to see where we're at and see what we have to work on. Like something I got out of that game is definitely I need to work on my strength, and like because those girls are really strong.
What is your strength?
I think my strength, like, I'm like a 3-level scorer. Like I can shoot, I can score like the mid-range and also lay it up, and then also my defense, obviously.
So you also need to work on your weaknesses as well too.
Yeah.
And what do you feel is your weakness?
Like probably my strength and like playing off pick and roll.
Your weakness?
Mhm.
You mean your weakness is playing off the pick and roll?
Yeah.
Okay, that's something that you would do in practice every day, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And what about you? How was that?
It was definitely an experience. Like I noticed during that game, persistent like plays a very big role when you come to play against these big teams, and noticing that like we're probably the underdogs in that type of game. We got to bring more to the table. But I'll probably take that game as a lesson and not a loss, because coming into that game, like she said, it was nothing to lose. Like we coming in last game of the season, of course you want to win every game.
Right.
But it's not like that's always going to happen. So I definitely say that game was definitely a lesson. But what I learned from that game is to always like keep your head up no matter what. And during times like that, just come together and motivate your teammates more, because during certain scenarios like that, just seeing those girls you play against, and especially like for us too, noticing that we have those offers and like the same type of stuff that they have, and they're seniors, is definitely motivating. And to take from that game and like to lose like that is definitely a lesson. I wouldn't take that as a loss at all.
And not a loss. You're absolutely right. And I'm sure your coach constantly explains that to you.
Of course, for
you know,
sure.
Because he puts you in situations where you guys are successful.
Exactly.
You know, and not many coaches do that. And you guys are, you know, y'all the next level right now, you know. So you played against that team, and like you said, you've been offered from those same colleges.
Right.
So now you can take from that. That's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah, you guys have the future ahead of you.
Thank
you know.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, what is your favorite snack?
Cold Stone.
Ice cream. What about you?
I get cake batter ice cream with cookie dough and rainbow sprinkles.
Wow, that sounds very sweet. What about you?
I just like Gushers.
Yeah, like candy and sweet stuff.
It's a snack.
What's your favorite? Like when you're right before a game, what is that one song that gets you going?
Probably No Fear.
No Fear? What about you?
Abandoned by Rod Wave.
Rod Wave.
Yeah.
Rod Wave is like that artist where there's really not much uplifting.
Yeah, I know it's weird. Like I definitely like all his songs are like it's about like romance and all that, but it's that one. It's just that song. It's just like I just hear like every second, and then it's obviously I think I would say No Fear also. Like that's like our team anthem. Like we love
That's
that
awesome.
song.
That's awesome. So like during the game, like when you was playing and you're down, how do you lift each other up? Do you guys keep each other going?
Yeah,
What
of
is that
course.
one thing you say to her? You know, what do you say to Taylor when you feel like she's not on her quote unquote game? You know, what do you say to her?
I tell her like we definitely I'll get her. I put my arm around her and tell her like just keep going, and that like play for yourself. Like it's nothing really like you could do and play for us and come together. Like whenever she feel like she missing her shots, like she'll be like, oh my God, and I'm like, yo, just keep playing. But like we definitely come together and like we'll have private talks on the court. Like when somebody's shooting free throws, I'll tell her like just keep going, keep scoring. Like Taylor, everybody know what you could do. A missed shot is not really nothing. So just keep doing what you do best, and if nothing's going right, you always got like your teammates behind you. So we always got her back. But I just tell her to keep going. Ain't nothing to worry about.
That's awesome. And what do you say to Gigi?
When I feel like we're like down and stuff, or like we need like more of like a push, I always do this to Gigi. Like I do this to her.
So you have like little hand signals on the court. That's awesome.
That means like we need to like run up the score, and
That's
like
what-
we just
yeah.
need to go. Like we just need to like start like playing like how we actually play, and like because like sometimes we'll like play to our opponents, like we'll play slow if we're playing like a lesser team, but like we need to play at a high level every game. So like I'll do that to her sometimes, and then also like she said, like our teammates always have our backs, so we're usually good on the court and we come together and like talk.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
like she said, we do got like little hand signals. Like sometimes, like if we're down, like I'll say run the scoreboard, I'll point at the scoreboard, and like we both know what that mean. Or I'll like do this with my hand, like that mean like talking like go, like or we just have certain stuff in the moment. It just happened with a snap. So I feel like we both got each other back in the court.
That's awesome. And I noticed the game that you played, your passes are like so sharp. For your young age, your passes are sharp. And this, not even adults that can get away with that. How do you get your teammates to be ready and catch those balls? Like, do you do that in practice? Like, are you telling them? Like,
So when I first started doing it, everybody knows that like if I obviously like they know I could score, but like they know like my other factor is me passing. So I just tell my teammates to be ready and to also like just whatever I'm driving, just please be ready, because noticing that like I'll probably say when I was in 7th grade, I had to play up with the 15U for my team Durant, and that taught me a lot about my passing, because my first time playing with those big girls, I wasn't able to like get the attack or do what I could do. It taught me a lesson. So now I feel like using that to my full ability, I can just dish it off or pass to however I want, and they'll be ready. And it's like now they're so used to it, so we're like in certain situations they know it's coming. But it wasn't like easy at all. We had to work through it.
mm-hmm. Is there ever a moment on the court where you feel like you're zoned out and like you don't hear coach and you like doing your own thing? Do you ever feel like that at times? Or do you always feel like you stay connected to your coach?
I feel like we stay connected at certain times, but it could be certain moments where in the moment we'll just be like, it's like a marathon, like both teams scoring. Or sometimes like some crowds are so loud that like we'll have to come together as a team, and like during timeouts will be the only time that like we can hear our coach. But we definitely have a connection with him. Like we always stay connected with him on the court, but it's definitely sometimes like that. But no matter the circumstances, we still ongoing know what to do as a team.
That's good. And you feel the same way?
Yeah.
And okay, so tell us a little bit about like you, like your path. You've been through a lot, you know what I mean? As far as like, you know, you traveled everywhere, you've met a lot of people. I mean, you had Dawn Staley call you personally. Yeah. What was that like?
Definitely during this.
Wait, first, what did you feel when they said Dawn Staley's on the phone?
So what happened was I was in Vegas already for the junior NBA camp. So I was already pumped up. Like that whole camp was the best. So I'd say I got a call from my director for Team Durant. He texted me about my calls, and he said, you have a call with South Carolina, Dawn Staley. I didn't really like peep it at first. Like I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, is this really Dawn Staley? Like I had to think of it twice. So I had to like go back. I had to go in the bathroom because it was too loud. I'm like, all right, this is private. So I went to the bathroom and I called her first, and she picked up, but it was the assistant coach, Coach Joe. So I'm like, hey, and that's when she was like, yo, and I'm like, oh, that's Dawn, and
that's
like
awesome.
My coach and like my dad was on the call. So it was just like it was amazing. It was like everything's coming together now, and that's awesome. A lot more to do. But it was definitely awesome. But this path hasn't been easy.
You certainly have a lot of basketball ahead of you. Okay, who's your next component?
We have, so it's playoffs. So you have either St. Mark's or Cape Henlopen, and the winner of that will play in the playoffs, and then we'll keep moving on, and then we'll try to get to the semifinals at the bottom.
You guys, and who's your biggest competition?
Probably Sanford and Caravel.
Those are the two teams we lost to. We lost to Sanford in double overtime, and we lost to Caravel in fourth quarter.
Okay, and you guys are ready? You ready?
Yeah,
you
I
ready
think
to
we're
take
ready
this?
this
You ready to
time.
get this championship?
Yeah, we learned a lot from those losses, and like now we're ready to just come together and just pull it together and win.
That's awesome. Do you look back at your film and see where you did?
Yes,
That's awesome.
Yeah, because those two teams, they're definitely like two strong teams, and they have some older players, they have some younger players, but definitely in total, it was definitely a lesson because in some situation, me and Take accountability for like both of those games because in a certain situation as point guards, we should pay attention to the clock. We should come together more.
Yeah.
And I feel as though it could have been times where like we was being ourselves on fast break. We didn't take our time. But those teams are definitely two good teams, and we'll see them when it counts.
You guys do not talk, and you certainly don't act like you're in ninth grade. You have the whole future ahead of you, and I'm so proud of you too.
Thank you.
I'm happy to be here
Thank you.
interviewing you, and I'm excited for your journey.
Thank you.
And I will certainly be at your next game.
Okay.
Looking for that win.
Thank you.
Thanks.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
We want to thank these two young ladies, Taylor Brown and Jezelle Banks, for an awesome, awesome interview. So we're going to take a break now, and we're going to come back with Ursuline's head coach, John Noonan.
Still searching for cheap gas prices? Dump the pump and ride DART. You can DART to your destination for only $4 all day. Let DART do the driving while you enjoy our free Wi-Fi available on all buses statewide. While scrolling through your favorite apps, don't forget to download DART's free transit app for real-time bus information and enjoy the convenience of contactless fare payment through DART Pass. So what are you waiting for? Dump the pump and try transit. Visit dartfirststate.com or call 1-800-652-DART.
And we're back, and I'm sitting here with the head coach of Ursuline Academy, Coach John Noonan. Coach, you've been at Ursuline now for 16 seasons, correct?
That's correct.
And what is it like? You've been coaching like legends. You know, what is it like in the past? Like, you know,
I just feel blessed. I mean, it's a charmed life. Landed in a great community with great students, great families, supportive administration, and been blessed with a lot of talented young ladies.
Yeah. I mean, with your experience coaching star players in the past, I mean, how do you approach mentoring and developing young talent like Taylor and Gigi? Like, how do you make that happen?
In this day and age, a lot of the kids that are of that talent level, there's a lot of people involved. So I kind of try to stay in my lane. Mm-hmm. They have parents that are super involved and super knowledgeable. They play on great travel teams. Obviously, they're with us at the high school ranks. So, you know, basketball is basketball to me. Teach them what I know, teach them how to compete, and just kind of share the knowledge and then experiences that I've had with some other great players. And, you know, just try to teach them that, you know, obviously it's a game, but it's also about life. Mm-hmm. And, you know, just be a quality person, do the work, and good things will happen.
Yeah. What qualities do you look for in players, like on and off the court?
I think, you know, first of all, being a good person, that's huge. And then being a good teammate. And I think that stuff is the cornerstones, and you kind of build from there. And when you get kids that are so young, that are so talented, you're trying not to put the weight of the world on their shoulders, even though they're ready for it. Mm-hmm. They've been trained to kind of like take that on. I don't worry about it, but I just sit there and say, like, am I doing the right things for these kids? So I kind of take that home with me sometimes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I just want to make sure that they're having a positive experience. And then they teach me, and then we kind of go through it together. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing that I probably learned with those two, especially because had them in 7th grade, they couldn't play up. And then last year there was so much hype around them. Mm-hmm. It's like, let's go through this together. Yeah. You know, I'm not going to tell you how it has to be. Let's do this, and let's figure it out. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, how do you prepare them, especially players like Gigi, Taylor, they're freshmen? And not just those two, but you have a full team. I mean, you have freshmen, you've coached freshmen in the past. How do you prepare them to play against top talent? Like, you know, you went to New York, you played Lehigh.
Well, again, that was certainly a challenge. Mm-hmm. You know, basketball's basketball. You need to prepare, you need to work hard, you need to play together. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that we're really working on right now, sharing the ball. But you know, it's the game. The game doesn't change. Mm-hmm. Then you try to play to their strengths. And I heard you mention earlier in the interview about Jezelle's passing ability, and it's like you want to let her play and play to her talent level. Mm-hmm. So the one thing that I've stressed to both of those kids and to every player on our team is, through discipline comes freedom. You can't just go out and do whatever you want. You need to learn the game first, and then after that, go ahead and just play the game.
Yeah. And being so young, like, how do you cultivate that winning mindset? You know, freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors, how do you cultivate that?
That's a challenge, and you hope for leadership with your upperclassmen. And we have an interesting group because we have a couple seniors, we have 2 seniors, we have 3 juniors, and it's trying to get that that teamwork and that camaraderie so that we can have that, because I think a lot of times the peer teaching can be just as important as the coaches talking. So that's a work in progress, because when you have young kids that are talented, sometimes it's like, how's this work? And we're kind of working through that.
How do you protect your kids? Because that's important. Like, Judy mentioned earlier about the mental health. How do you protect them being, they're so well known nationally? Yeah. You've had like top programs contact them and contact you. How do you sort of like kind of shelter them from, the noise?
Check in, just have conversations, see how they're doing, ask them about some stuff other than basketball. And then, again, learning together. Last year, there was a lot of people coming to games and trying to get in their ears and take video of them and this, that, and the other. So this year, credit to our school, they really kind of put some boundaries on getting access to our kids. And it really was kind of a learning experience. It hasn't been that way since, probably Elena, and we've had some really, really good ones in Maggie Conley, Alicia Lewis, Adriana Hahn, obviously. So we have to, collectively as a community and as adults, we need to protect these young people because we live in a crazy world.
We do, yeah. And Delaware, of course, obviously we're not the state that allows young kids to receive any NIL deals. What is your take on these kids getting that type of treatment and that type of monetary reward?
I think I was putting this little article, and I'm pro kid in this, and the reason being is, first and foremost, I want the talented kids to stay in our state. It's not just for Ursuline, it's not just for the privates, it's for everybody. And I use the example, a really good baseball pitcher that's going to play maybe at the Caravels or the St. Mark's, they're going to find another home. Those football players that play at Middletown and Smyrna, they're going to find another home. And when you're surrounding states, all those kids have access to this and have the ability to go out there and possibly earn. Why should our kids not have that same opportunity? And in my opinion, we're already considered a state of mediocrity. Why are we going to let our best talent walk away? It makes no sense to me. So you don't have to agree with it. There's a lot of people that don't like it in college, but it's here. So my point is just, it's here. Let's figure it out, and let's do right by our Delawareans. Like, our young kids deserve that opportunity.
Absolutely. Can you share a memorable moment with Gigi and your team and Taylor, throughout the season? Because maybe we're towards going into postseason. Can you share a memorable moment where they had to kind of lead the team on their own because, like with the crowd being loud and you can't get through to them, and maybe kind of reel them back in?
We had some games where, we actually didn't come through, where I think we had some big learning moments. We were up 14 with about 4 minutes left, and I think we were, coaches makes mistakes, raising my hand. I didn't do my job very well. But I think the kids need to learn that also we can take our time right here. We're kind of in control of this thing. Let's not let them back in the game by us not playing, smart basketball. And then there's been games where we've played in some of the showcases, more or less, where you just can almost kind of just sit back and watch, and you're like, what, did that just happen? Did you see that pass? Did you see that finish? And that's what those two kids have. They have some unique abilities and talents that certainly, as a head coach and being, the director of Ursuline basketball, I'm really proud that they're with us. And again, you just interviewed them. They're pretty special.
They're wonderful kids, yeah. Now, going into postseason, I know when I coach, it's kind of a challenge getting the kids to kind of just get emotional. And, it's like an emotional roller coaster. So going into the regular season, now you go into postseason, how do you encourage them and empower them to
I think you
walk into that?
You just prepare, you coach, and the thing that they don't understand unless they've been there. Now, they did this last year as 8th graders, speaking specifically for those two, but the rest of the team as well. Most of those kids are back. Just it ramps up the intensity. So like every possession really does matter, and if you don't win, you're done. So it's that you got to play ball every second of make the next play, and that's what we're teaching in practice. We're preaching it, and just trying to prepare as best we can to get ready for whoever our next opponent is.
Now, you said in practice, is there a limit to what you teach your players, or do you teach them, like, Taylor said that, she needs to learn the backdoor defense. Is there a limit, or you just...
No, it's the game. So, maybe how you defend that back cut. You know, some people back in the day, we used to open up. Now you stay closed and you swivel your head and you do the beaten belt with your hands, these types of things. And again, you know, just speaking again of those two kids, they're uniquely talented. So you might give them a little bit more flexibility with the fundamental and say, hey, look, because of your athleticism and your instincts, you can maybe gamble a little bit more here. But then at the same time, if you're getting beat on gambles, you got to stay locked in and keep the people in front of you. So we're working through that as well. But in terms of just teaching, it's, you know, we have a philosophy, we stick to it, we teach it, we drill it, and then we try to execute it.
Yeah. Okay. You know, you've coached Deladon, you've coached Adriana Hahn, Val Whiting, and it all came from the Ursuline program. Yeah. Do you feel pressure, you know, going into postseason and feeling like, you know, okay, I've won the states here?
You know, like, it's interesting. That's a great question. And I wouldn't say pressure, but I feel like, you know, the kids want to win. I want the win for the kids. And my job and our coaching staff, I try to tell them it's a memory that you have forever. So I think back to as a head coach, the first time, you know, I was fortunate to be part of a state championship team, and I see those kids, 2012, they're still celebrating that thing. And I selfishly want that for every kid on our team right now, and not only for them, but also for their families, and then for our community. Not so much about me, but them.
And what do you say to them? You know, they ninth graders. What do you say to them with, you know, all of this
I tell them,
light?
I just told you, and they go, "What?" And they're just like, they just want to play ball. So, you know, we're probably gonna have some alums come back and talk to them because I think sometimes they're so tuned out of my voice, you know, for different reasons, and they're just like, "We just want to play, coach. We just want to play." But it is special. It's a special time in your young life, and these are memories that you can create forever. And I want to be a part of that and just do my job well.
Yeah. And you are a great coach. You know, I've watched you coach, I've coached against you, and it's always been a pleasure. And thank you for your time today. Yes,
Thank
absolutely.
you so much. Great to see you.
And good luck in the postseason. I know you do well. I'll be in the stands cheering.
Thank you.